Is made for fair use, for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use. Furthermore, I give credit to the original copyright owner. I don't own the rights, or no infringement is intended to the material that has been added to this. Grand and rich rising, and welcome to Blended Healing. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. We're going to talk about that today. I did some researched information and came across something that was very interesting about people being hard on themselves and low self-esteem. But the good thing is how do you heal? Ashe? Ashe. Let's get your blood flowing this morning, all right? Hey, do I have your attention? Are you awake now? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about people who are deeply insecure and they don't even realize it. Here's the thing. Have you ever heard of the old saying, the loudest person in the room is the weakest? Well, it's not always about the volume of your voice. Insecurity can manifest in many subtle ways. Here's the kicker. Often those who display these signs are not even aware of their underlying insecurities. If you've ever asked yourself, why do I act this way? Or why do people respond to me like this? You're in the right place. We're going to be talking about subtle behaviors often exhibited by deeply insecure individuals. The goal here isn't to judge or to criticize, but to shed light on these patterns for better self-understanding. Because knowledge is power. And recognizing these behaviors is the first step towards personal growth and improved relationships. All right. Number one, overly critical of others. Let's get straight to it. One of the classic signs of hidden insecurity is being overly critical of others. It might seem counterintuitive, but here's the deal. People who are deeply insecure often find fault in others to distract themselves from their own perceived shortcomings. This could be anything from criticizing, a coworker's work ethic to nitpicking a friend's fashion choices. Know what I mean? So the criticism is rarely about the other person. Rather, it's a reflection of their own internal struggle. Understanding this type of behavior can be a powerful tool for personal growth. After all, it's easier to change what you recognize. Number two, constant need for validation. Now let's get personal. Do you remember a time when you would constantly seek validation from others, whether it was at your work or how you look, or even the smallest decision that you needed to make? You needed someone else to affirm that everything that you're doing is okay. So, looking back, do you now realize that this was a clear sign of your own insecurities? It wasn't about the validation itself. It was about the assurance that you was good enough. Deep down, you may not have been confident enough in your ability or choices, and you needed others to fill that gap in your own self-esteem. If you find yourself constantly needing approval or reassurance from others, it might be a time to take a closer look at your self-confidence. Your worth, beloved, isn't determined by others' opinions. It comes from within. Number three, overcompensating for flaws. All right, so now it's about to get real. Has there been a period in your life where you found yourself constantly trying to prove something, that you were determined to show everyone that you was intelligent, successful, and capable? You would probably actually be the person that would take on more work than you can handle, stay longer at the office, or even embellish your achievements, all in an attempt to make others see you in a certain light. However, the truth was simple yet painful. You are overcompensating for your insecurities. If you feel inadequate and believe that the only way to hide this was by outperforming everyone else, but at the end of the day, it wasn't about them. It was about you battling with your own self-doubt. It's crucial to accept that it's okay not to be perfect. Embrace your flaws and allow them to fuel your growth instead of masking them. Number four, difficulty in accepting compliments. Now, you think that everyone loves receiving compliments, right? Well, not necessarily. Some of you may brush off compliments or downplay your achievements. If someone complimented your work, you will respond like something like, "Oh, it's nothing," or "I could have done better." That's that. I'll give you a VA slap in your forehead. That wasn't out of modesty. You know that, and I know that. It was because you genuinely struggled to believe that you do not deserve the praise. Those who have deep self doubt often have a hard time accepting compliments. They feel undeserving or believe that the person complimenting them doesn't mean it. So if you find yourself dismissing praise, it might be worth examining why you struggle to accept positive feedback. It's okay to acknowledge your accomplishments and take pride in them. Confrontation. Did you know that people who avoid confrontations are often battling with deep seated insecurities? It's true. They avoid confrontation because it is common behavior that is exhibited, right? You can go to great lengths to prevent any form of conflict, even if it meant suppressing your own feelings or thoughts. In your mind, a confrontation could potentially lead to rejection, and that ideal can terrify you. This fear of confrontation isn't about keeping the peace. It's more about the fear of being disliked or ostracized. If you find yourself constantly sidestepping confrontations, it may be a subconscious attempt to protect your fragile self esteem. It's important to express your thoughts and feelings, even if they may lead to some disagreements. Number 6, perfectionism. Perfectionism. So here's the hard truth. Perfectionism wasn't about striving for excellence. It was a shield that is used to protect yourself from criticism and failure, which you fear would be exposed by your insecurities. If you find yourself striving for perfection at the cost of your own peace and well being, it might be time to pause and reflect. Understand that we're all humans and it's completely okay to make mistakes. They're not weaknesses, but opportunities for growth and learning. Number 7, overanalyzing social interactions. Overanalyzing social interactions. It's like replaying conversations in your head, scrutinizing every word, expression, and reaction, and then wonder if you said something wrong or if someone was upset with you because of a casual comment that you made. This isn't about being mindful or considerate. It is a sign of your insecurity, making you read too much into a simple interaction, fueling unnecessary anxiety and self doubt. If you catch yourself overthinking social situations, it might be a subtle sign of deep seated insecurity. Not every silence has a hidden meaning. Not every action requires an analysis. Sometimes things are just as they appear to be. So, if you have identified with some of these behaviors, don't be disheartened. This isn't a life sentence, but an invitation to self awareness and growth. Here's the takeaway: recognize that these behaviors are the first step towards tackling your insecurities. Reflect on your actions, understand their root cause, and start making conscious efforts to overcome them. Don't rush the process. Just like a tree doesn't grow overnight, personal growth takes time, patience, and nurturing. It's okay to stumble along the way. Each stumble is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger. Ashe, Ashe. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about why are you so hard on yourself and what that emotional healing process for the cough. I realized that I had my mic on and I'm sorry. I'm getting over the remnants of the flu, which I had really bad. But please excuse me for the coughing into the mic. That was not being a lady. Okay, so let's get with it. So, why are you so hard on yourself? And what things can help you process this emotional healing? Okay, scenario. You don't want to dive into any childhood stuff or rehash old things from your past. You want to know why you're feeling so anxious and stuck. We get it. It's been heard from so many people. They just want to figure out why they're struggling to move forward. And they keep asking the same question: how long will the process take? On people's journeys, you will learn how to develop a deep understanding of the process of healing and what it means to form a relationship with your own inner child, and more importantly, why it matters. When it comes to forming a relationship with your inner child, there's nothing more empowering than to give yourself the love, the care, the attention, and the support that you needed growing up. Hmm. You know, you have the capacity to shift your experiences, challenge your negative beliefs, and to make the changes you desire to live an authentic life. You have that power. There are some key elements to the process of healing to remember. When you are in a whole bunch of chaotic bullshit, you're uncomfortable. And the work to heal your soul and you're feeling a desire to stop going through the process altogether. These things can help you on your journey in support. So don't be so hard on yourself, because there are 4 key elements of the emotional healing process that I would like to share with you. Number 1, create awareness. The initial step to healing is to create awareness about your feelings. Once you become aware of your own patterns and the behaviors attached to your emotions, you can then get curious. Number 2, get curious. Acknowledging your emotions create movement and energetic shifts. In this practice, your feelings do not have power over you. Instead, you move through them. Responding to yourself from a curious place versus being critical allows for a deeper connection to yourself and others. Number 3, have some self-compassion. Connection serves you and offers the space to understand how your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and your behaviors are serving you. Self-compassion is the salve that can keep you in the process. There are 3 elements of self-compassion: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. When you are kind to yourself versus being self-critical or ignoring your pain and difficult emotions, you enhance your tolerance to inevitable discomfort. Humans are imperfect and vulnerable. Practicing mindfulness, being present with what is without judgment, can foster your journey, transform your life, heal your pain, and create space to live with authenticity. Number 4, allow for integration. There is a process that assists you in getting rid of the parts of you that you struggle with the most. It is to facilitate your integration, to become aware of the parts that need the most love and compassion. This integration of new patterns or behaviors requires self-love, developing resilience, and practicing immeasurable patience. Once you have awareness, you can choose to shift your patterns through practice and integrate the lessons into new ways of living. Being cycle in nature, your willingness to stay in the journey requires an understanding that healing involves expansion with greater awareness and a knowing that you will collapse into old patterns. This contraction is part of the process. Your body will seek comfort in what it knows. Healing involves the shakeup of energy in a process that shallows out old grooves of behaviors and defenses. It's not easy, nor is it always profound. The process of healing is not driven by the ego, the need to be right or perfect. Healing comes from within. It is a process and a practice that takes time, which is the most valuable gift you can offer yourself. Ashe, Ashe. This researched information is from Your Tango, and the writer is Christine Vargo, a licensed clinical social worker. Ashe, Ashe. Remember, it's a process. It's a process. So don't beat yourself up. Just take some of these suggestions and roll with it. At least try. At least try. That's all I can ask you to do is try. Right? And if you don't try, this might happen to you.
Oh, really?
That might happen. You better try. You know how much I love y'all. I really do. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing on today. I wish you a fabulous day. Think on these things, you know? Think on these things. All right. I will see you very, very soon. Ashe and Deepak.